Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and this is our Ring of Honor show for the week. Let's jump right into it. We're going back to the Top Prospect Tournament. I believe this is the semifinals or quarterfinals. One or the other, I'm sorry, I didn't think to catch that. But we had Raymond Rowe versus Corey Hollis in an interesting match that I thought could be two of the finalists actually. Two guys that should go far in the tournament. Raymond Rowe picks up the win after a really solid opening match. I know we've seen Corey Hollis more on Ring of Honor than Raymond Rowe. I'd like to see them both actually hang around and be part of the roster. I think they both bring a little bit something different. Raymond Rowe definitely has that it factor, that standout factor. When you see him, you remember him. And Corey Hollis as well. Him and Mike Posey have an awesome team together. Hopefully we get a little bit more of that. Hopefully we keep Corey Hollis a little bit as the singles. Great way to start the show. I love when they do these top prospect tournaments. It gives us the time to see some people we may not have seen before, or maybe some people that we have that we've liked on the indie scene get a chance at basically the third biggest company in wrestling. Now coming off of that, we had R.D. Evans going up against Matt Sells. This is my first time seeing Sells. This was basically a put R.D. Evans over match. They kept talking about him being 16-0 in Ring of Honor. To me, something doesn't sound right. I seem to remember him losing, specifically him and QT Marshall losing against Outlaw Inc., I believe. But I could be wrong. Outlaw Inc. could have lost by DQ. I might be remembering it differently in my head. Evans wins the match. Then he calls out anybody in the back, mentions Michael Elgin, which we get an impromptu match with Elgin. A little bit weird on the finish with this. Elgin gets a disqualification after he was dominating. Not really in Elgin's character. I kind of wondering where they're going with that. Are we going to see a shift in Michael Elgin? Is he going to be more of a heel? More of a, I didn't get things done the right way, so I'm going to take any means necessary? Or was this just a one-time thing that explained how he can lose to R.D. Evans? Like to see where they go with that going forward. It was very interesting to me. Now the next match we had was a rematch from last year's Top Prospect Tournament Finals. Matt Taven versus Tadarius Thomas. And you see now why I was so excited about the matches in the Top Prospect Tournament this year. If you look back just to last year, we got two guys that have made a serious impact in Ring of Honor over the last year. Tadarius Thomas mostly with his team with ACH. And Matt Taven, who is the longest running ROH TV champion in their history, did most of his work throughout the year with the House of Truth, now has broken out on his own. A little bit more serious of a character now. But now you see why I enjoyed that. I'm enjoying the top tournament prospects so much, because you get guys like this coming out of it, guys that are going to make a very big impact in Ring of Honor. And we have basically the same results with less interference. Matt Taven picks up the win. I like what they're doing with Taven. I like that they're making him more of a serious wrestler and more of somebody that's an actual threat, instead of somebody that needed the help of Truth Martini and the women's Elysia Sparks, whoever it may be at the time that was helping with the House of Truth. I enjoy where they're going with him. I think it's going to be interesting to see if Truth Martini comes back with a new person to challenge him. If Matt Taven, stays on the straight and narrow. Again, it's interesting to see characters develop, and Taven's a guy, I think he's a great wrestler, and I only see bigger and better things for him in Ring of Honor. If he keeps improving at the rate that he is improving now, he's not that far off from being a Ring of Honor World Champion. And speaking of World Champion, we had Jay Briscoe, the real World Champion, as he likes to say, calling out the actual World Champion, Adam Cole. But instead of Cole, he gets Bobby Fish, one half of the Tag Team Champions, and one hell of a wrestler at that. Bobby Fish comes out and says him and the boys in the back are tired of Jay Briscoe with the fake championship and not representing something that they don't represent, basically a paper champion per se, that he's going to stand up for all the champions of Ring of Honor. They put on an excellent match with each other. Bobby Fish, I think, might be, and they said it on commentary, he might be the most underrated wrestler in the Ring of Honor roster. I mean, when you talk about great wrestlers, somehow his name doesn't come up, but it really should, because he is absolutely astounding. The work that him and Kyle O'Reilly have done over the last year or so, being a team, originally I thought it was just going to be a throwaway as a way to mess with Davey Richards, that Kyle O'Reilly brought in Fish. However, as it's gone on and they've progressed, they've become one of the top tag teams in the world, if not the top tag team in the world. And, you know, himself, even as a singles, even before his time in Ring of Honor, one of the best singles wrestlers in the world. Hell of a wrestler. And Jay Briscoe, no knock at him at all. Jay Briscoe is one heck of a talent. And I kind of feel bad that his World Championship run happened the way it happened and ended so briefly due to injury. But as you know my feelings on this, I don't believe that Ring of Honor should do many multiple-time champions, so maybe Jay needs to move back into the tag team division where he can be the 9th-time tag team champion with his brother. He's already went down in history as one of the legends of Ring of Honor. The more we get of him and the angry side, it's more of what Jay Briscoe does at his best. And this match was an absolutely awesome match. Adam Cole comes out at the end to walk around the ringside, distracts Briscoe. Not enough to cost him a win, though, because Jay wins with the Jay Driller. But an absolutely awesome match, a great main event to set off an altogether good show. Something that Ring of Honor ties together so well. From the beginning match, it builds all the way to the end, and you get a fantastic hour of entertainment out of them. Now, if you've seen our show in the past, you know we do every show on a rating system. We do a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. I'm going to give this show a solid 4. The couple things kept it from being a 5. The weird Elgin DQ that doesn't fit his character kind of threw me off a little bit. The fact of the matter is, of them having basically 5 matches in an hour, it's not conducive of what Ring of Honor is and what they do. I'd like to see it stay around a 3, maybe 4 match maximum for them, because you give, what they're doing is basically giving us our normal television match with the 4 in an hour, and we don't want that. We want something different. Ring of Honor should be giving us wrestling. They're the wrestling company, basically. But, you know, still a really good show. Just little pet peeves that could have took it from a really good show to a great show, in my opinion. But basically, that's all I have to say about that. My name is George Coles, and this has been another episode of Heel Heat.